Flying is always fun, but if you end up bringing the wrong object to the airport, you could put yourself and the entire plane in danger. Did you know that snow globes are forbidden on planes? Stay tuned to find out why. Don't forget to subscribe to The Things and give this video a big thumbs up. Now, let's check out 10 strangest things not allowed on airplanes. Printer cartridge. Say what? Bet you didn't know that in 2010, there was a huge uproar when TSA banned ink and toner cartridges from carry-ons. If your printer cartridge has more than 16 ounces, it'll be banned from inbound and inner US flights. So if you have a specific printer, there's a good chance that you won't be able to bring the cartridges with you. The reasoning for this is actually quite surprising, but it does make sense. It turns out that back in 2010, there were several cases of explosives being planted in the cartridges. Seems a bit absurd, but on October 29th, 2010, 2 packages of these cartridges were found on 2 separate cargo planes. The cartridges were fortunately safely discovered at en route stopovers, which triggered the ink and toner cartridges ban. Luckily, no one was hurt, but this ban just makes sure no one else will get hurt either. But it's pretty strange to think that even if you buy a printer abroad, there's a good chance you won't be able to carry cartridges, especially if you fly within or to the US. Who would have ever thought that an ink cartridge could be this dangerous or use it in such a harmful way? Walkie-talkies. If you ever look at the rules of which items you're allowed to bring on the airplane, you probably never noticed that walkie-talkies are frequently mentioned. It doesn't matter if you have the toy walkie-talkies or something made for adults. Unless you're the pilot, you absolutely can't bring or use walkie-talkies on board with you. The reason for that is actually pretty simple. Walkie-talkies are operated by radio satellite, and talking to your buddy while in the air could interfere with satellite connection meant to be received by the airplane pilot in the air traffic control. This could mean the pilot might miss important pieces of information that could put the entire plane in danger. Interestingly, not a lot of people know about this ban. A Reddit user called Spotlight Master asked if there was a chance they could communicate with a group of friends on another plane. Of course, the answer is no. In 2016, an American man was spotted with a walkie-talkie at an Indian airport. He was interrogated by the police, but pleaded not guilty because he wasn't aware of this ban. Some walkie-talkies actually operate on high frequencies that could easily capture wireless messages between the police and the defense forces, as well as messages sent by the air traffic control. Remote control cars. Back in 2007, airport screeners became really strict when it comes to remote control cars. Remote controlled toys in general are forbidden in carry-ons, which makes us wonder, how did the lady from Home Alone 3 bring that remote controlled car on the plane without even checking it in? It seems that this would be pretty much impossible to do now. Airlines like TAP Air Portugal have a strict policy against remote controlled toys. But why is it that you can't bring a toy like that in your carry-on? 2007 was the year when this rule was enforced, after it was noted that remote controlled toys can be used as detonators. Authorities responded to a video of 2 students that seemed to have demonstrated how this would have worked in real life in order to help people in Arab countries to fight. But the video alerted the airlines, who made sure that people with remote-controlled toys would go through even longer checks. This threat was proven to be real after many incidents of remote-control cars disguised as explosive devices were attempted to be used around the world. This rule is followed by thoroughly checking other electronics that could be easily masked as something dangerous. If you want to buy your child a remote control car and bring it on a plane, get ready for the pat-downs. Bear repellent. TSA strictly prohibits bear repellents in both your carry-on and checked luggage. It might seem like a strange object to carry anyways, but depending where you're from, it might seem like a good idea to bring a bear repellent. Well, it's not a good idea. In fact, most bear repellents are prohibited. We say most because the rule states that you're allowed to have it if its chemical makeup is not over 2% of active ingredients. But most bear repellents exceed this amount. TSA, which sometimes posts about the weird things they confiscate on their Instagram, noted that a passenger tried to fly with 8 ounces of bear repellent in a carry-on bag. Unfortunately, that's not allowed. Bear sprays might be inexpensive, but they're definitely not something you should put in your carry-on. The same goes for pepper sprays and anything that could be potentially used as a weapon while you're in the air. Sure, you might not actually mean any harm, but the bear spray could fall into the hands of someone who does. So unless your bear repellent sticks to the TSA guidelines, you'll unfortunately have to leave it at home unless you want to get in trouble at the airports. A secret ninja book. Seriously, if you're not following TSA on Instagram, you definitely should because they give pretty detailed descriptions of why something was confiscated. And usually, those items are pretty crazy. You'd think people would think these things through, but apparently that's not always the case. For example, one passenger wanted to fly with a secret ninja book. The book seemed to be about ninjas in training, but if you opened it up to the right page, you'd actually notice it's carved in. Yep, this passenger wanted to fly with a ninja book with a secret compartment. Maybe they didn't mean any harm with it, and it was supposed to be just a nice present, but it's still pretty creepy. We can't even imagine what the TSA were thinking when they scanned a book and noticed something strange inside it. Did the passenger actually look like a ninja? We're also interested where we can sign up for this ninja in training course because it actually sounds pretty awesome. We promise we won't be taking our secret books on a plane. Either way, this was a pretty good catch. And you have to admit that TSA often stays on top of things when it comes to spotting some pretty bizarre items. Grenade-shaped objects. Did you know that vaping devices are actually allowed on the plane, depending on the airline and airport? That is, unless the vaping device is in the shape of a grenade or another explosive device. We all think it's cool to have a keychain in the shape of a dangerous item, but all those things would be quickly confiscated at the airport and there's no chance we'd be able to fly with them. You'd be surprised how many times this actually happens according to the TSA. It seems that people try to be cool, but forget that the airport is the last place where you can pull this off. To be honest, this looks scarily real, and we bet it gave the TSA a heart attack or two after first scanning it. What would you do if you checked a bag and found an object looking like an explosive? We're pretty sure the person who owned the bag got in a lot of trouble, and it was really embarrassing when they had to reveal that it was actually a vaping device. Always remember, never carry objects that might look like weapons because it usually won't work out well at the security desk. Batarangs. Imagine you're Batman and you want to fly on a plane with your batarangs. Well, you won't be able to. In case you're confused, batarang is a Batman-shaped object that might look super cool and an awesome defense weapon. These items are becoming extremely common because, let's be honest, they just look really cool. But because it looks so sharp and it's meant to be thrown at people, it unfortunately isn't allowed in your carry-on. It seems like a standard rule, right? Well, if you go through TSA's Instagram, you'll be surprised by just how many batarangs they confiscate. While it might seem cool to bring batarangs as a present, you might want to pack them in your checked baggage and make sure that the place you're traveling to allows batarangs in the first place. A TSA spokesman said that these sharp objects have to be placed in checked baggage, where you can't reach them. He also added that this is where you should put your bat saw, your collapsible bat sword, and other utility belt items. Sounds like the TSA isn't a fan of Batman, but we can definitely understand why. Batarangs can easily be thrown and used as a weapon, so it's better to be safe than sorry. Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This is by far one of the strangest objects that has ever been banned by the TSA, but it's the one most people are familiar with. Back in 2016, the mobile company Samsung came under fire, quite literally. Many of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 phones seem to have exploded in people's hands due to bad case design as well as low-quality batteries. This also meant that having those phones in the air would be extremely risky, so TSA had to take matters in their own hands. Shortly after the first claims of such incidents, Samsung received almost 100 notices of batteries overheating and causing burns as well as property damage. A Southwest flight even had to be canceled after the smartphone exploded during boarding as the passenger was shutting it off. Just imagine the chaos it caused. According to the passenger, he even replaced the phone after the first incidents of exploding batteries were discovered, but it seems that nothing was really done upon repair. Because of the serious threats, TSA decided to completely ban the phone from the plane. Must have been a pretty confusing time for a frequent traveler. Fidget spinners. Okay, it's not all fidget spinners, but because fidget spinners became popular, a lot of people tried to experiment with cool designs. This small, spinning object was originally supposed to be used to calm anxiety and help a person focus, but because it became an incredibly trendy item during 2016, you could also spot some of the coolest fidget spinners around. But unfortunately, unless the object is extremely blunt, you won't be able to bring it on the plane. TSA actually confiscated plenty of fidget spinners with razor-sharp edges. While they might be cool in any different setting, they can easily be used as a harmful device on a plane and put everyone's lives in danger. People have joked that fidget spinners are new weapons of mass distraction, but things could actually get really serious if your fidget spinner design is just too cool for school. If you still use these toys for your anxiety, it's always best to stick to the regular design instead of purchasing that razor-sharp upgrade, especially if you know you'll be flying with it, because you might just have to leave it behind no matter how special or cool its design actually is. Snow globes. Imagine coming home from a Christmas trip and bringing carefully wrapped ornaments and decorations like mesmerizing snow globes, thinking how much your kids will enjoy them. Well, you better think twice because you won't be able to get them through. One of the weirdest things that are actually banned by the TSA are without a doubt snow globes that go over a specific size. Why? How could a cute little Christmas ornament cause trouble on a plane? According to the TSA, snow globes and similar Christmas decorations, regardless of size or amount of liquid inside, can be forbidden on certain airlines, especially if they appear to be larger than a tennis ball. This rule keeps on changing. However, TSA is very clear about the size. A snow globe could easily be used as a weapon considering its size. As it comes with plenty of glass, it could cause significant damage. If you think about it, most snow globes are in fact larger than tennis balls, which pretty much means you'll never be able to get them through. So if you're flying home for Christmas, make sure that your snow globe is incredibly tiny or that it can fit in your checked luggage, because if not, you might just have to leave it at the airport. And that's all for our video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.